Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekender Show. I'm joined by guest and ambassador for Don't Cross the Line, Paul Cochran. You've seen Paul before. So welcome to the show, especially on DXTLTV from the Touchlines, which is on YouTube. Paul's made up with it now because he's watching himself all the time now, aren't you? Playback, Paul, is that what it's all about?
I am, yeah, evening. Yeah, it's obviously good to see all the other guests you get on as well, not just to see my pretty face on.
Well, there you go.
YouTube.
But I had to invite you back on because your kids are starting to miss you, aren't they?
Yeah.
The only time you've seen it because I know you didn't work 7 days a week. Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
So kids, Paul's back on. Dad, there he is. Dad. Anyway, welcome to the show. Tonight, Paul, we're going to talk about obviously the safeguarding, safe to play, which is brought to us by NWG at the end of the show, towards the end of the show. But also, I brought you on because you're an ambassador, and I want you to tell our listeners and our viewers all about, you know, what stands out for you, the work we've been doing over the years, several years now. It's going into our 18th year. We're all happy with the work we've done, what we've achieved, and what have you thought about Don't Cross the Line? First of all, when I ever brought you into, you didn't know anything about it, but now, you're an ambassador.
All those years ago when we first met, through obviously the job we do.
When we were 21.
Yeah, it's like 21, yeah. Still 21 now.
Still 21 now.
It was quite a daunting thing when you saw, oh, we're going to go police the touchlines, we're going to go and, you know, stop people swearing and, you know, make sure the kids are getting, you're like, what? I'm not doing this. But obviously, over the years as I've been doing, I think, you know, 8, 9, maybe even 10 years I've been doing this for, you know, with you. It's been quite an experience, quite an eye-opener, because, you know, obviously down the grassroots, you don't always stay in one place, you go quite around. There's been a lot of things that you do see, and obviously one incident that really stuck out for me was this guy who was jumping up and down under the touchline and shouting at the kids, something, you know, they're only 5 or 4, they're quite young kids. So I think I spoke to you, I went, who's that? Who's that? And he's like, oh, it's the coach. Like, what? I thought it was like a parent or something, but he seemed quite hot-headed but passionate, and maybe he was just doing it in the wrong way. And I think that was the most standout thing I've witnessed.
Well, that brought you to the attention of Don't Cross the Line, the work that we do, don't, because first of all you were really sceptic about it. You were talking and saying, well, what have we got to do? And I said, basically nothing.
Yeah.
You walk and what you see is what you get, and what you get you couldn't believe, because being a parent, you looked at me and went, well, what do you do about this? And I'll just tell our listeners and our viewers exactly what we do about it. We monitor touchlines, and we have that Respect Award, which you loved anyway, you've been there, and the things that you've done, but we're going to tell all our viewers and what have you all about that. But you were taken aback, you were shocked, because bringing kids into this world, you start thinking, this is only a game of football. Is this about developing the kids? We put this into perspective, and what we do, obviously we see this week in, week out. We then report it to the committees, which we're made up with, and then if it carries on, then we report it to the county FAs from the committees. So then the county FAs, they take the relevant action, and you know, it's been like this over the 18 years, and unfortunately we put a time scale on this. When you said how long is it going to take to iron this out, I said probably a lifetime, but we said about 25 years to me. You know, we weren't far wrong.
No.
And yeah, you just tell them again, you know, you saw us in action, that's why obviously you joined, and we made an ambassador toward it as well.
Well, I love football as much as the next person. Obviously coming from Liverpool, we're quite a football based city, but controlling those touchlines and seeing all the things that you see, and you hear a lot of things as well, and you're thinking, it's just a kids game. You know, we're very passionate about obviously the Premier League and Liverpool and Everton and that, but when it comes down to the kids games, there's times when you just need to let them grow and develop and let them learn for themselves. And as a parent, as a coach, as a manager, take that step back and, you know, let the kids be kids. They're obviously just kicking a ball around the field at the end of the day. But as you said, when we have gone around those touchlines and people haven't noticed that we're there, and sometimes you have a little tap on someone's shoulder, you know, chill out a little bit.
Well, this is where we're the CCTV of grassroots football. When we're there, basically, and they know we're there, nothing happens, But when you walk away, all hell can break loose, can't it? Because we've had that where we walked away, everything's been brilliant, and then they go, where were you? God, behind me 5 minutes ago. There was murder on that touchline.
Well, there's been times I've turned up late and I've been walking around looking for you, to obviously get the heads up of what we're doing, where we're going. And just walking around doing that, you well, what's being said there? And some parents, giving a big one to the other one on the other side, and you're thinking, it's just a game, chill out.
Well, do you remember the time that I taught? We were all there with the volunteers, and I just said, when you're walking around and it's a big ground, and this was on the grass before the hubs were built, I said, the secret is to find out where all the most trouble is on a game is when that referee is blatantly blowing that whistle non-stop, not to attract the attention, but he's trying to stop play, or she's trying to stop play, because there's murder going on, basically. So the referees are our friends as well, and we follow that whistle, don't we? And we just go up to it, and they're all made up, and people sort of like congratulate for just coming onto the touchlines and bringing a bit of order, but we don't say anything, we just stand there, don't we? People are aware of what we're there for.
I remember there's this one time when it was before the big hub at Jeffrey Humble. It was just the open fields, and all the games sort of ended and dissipated, and all the parents were leaving. And we were approached, and this guy says that there looks like it's going to be a bit of trouble over there. Can you just go over? And we went over, and we started watching the game. Kicked off, and the ref was there, and every now and again there would be one parent just sort of shout something from the other side, and it didn't go as bad as what maybe it could have gone if we weren't there, but you could see that these people weren't happy with what was going on within the game, whether the ref was wrong or the decision they thought was wrong. But we came in halfway through where we weren't 100% sure, but hopefully with our presence there, it kept that sort of toxic atmosphere from developing into maybe an all-out brawl.
Well, do you remember the time when it was brilliant? Sky Sports turned up, and they wanted to try and get the crane, and we were doing a live show, and they were filming Formula 1, and they were going from Formula 1 to DXTLTV coverage, or should we say from the touchlines coverage, and it was unbelievable. We just couldn't get a grip of that, could we? And we
I think that was my first time on Sky Sports News.
I think it might have been as well, and you've never looked back, have you?
No, I haven't.
You've recorded about 300 times or something like that. Anyway, it was just amazing, and if you remember, I think there was a manager that we were stood behind, and he was really losing it, and he was bouncing, he was shouting, and I was stood behind him, and then he turned round, and I won't repeat what he said, and he went, it sort of started, I think a letter F or something like that, I don't know what he was talking about, but he turned round and he went, you just caught me on camera there, because the film crew were there, and I said, more than likely, he said, I'll be quiet now, and I'll come over after and apologise. It was great, it was unbelievable, but this is what we bring, and as I say, CCTV to grassroots football, not only that, we brought and attracted a lot of audiences from Sky Sports, and we can't thank them enough. They were brilliant. The reporters we met, and I'm taking over you because you've got loads of questions.
It blends into each other because we've obviously been doing this for a long time together. So.
And it's an outstanding moment. It's over the years what we brought together and the banter we've had. There's just one little story that I've got to tell everyone there. The banter, and I think this happened just before you come on board, and we used to do this tournament that was held in Liverpool, and I was walking along giving me leaflets out, as you do, talking to all the parents, making sure that it's a kids' game and the kids are just enjoying themselves, and to behave themselves around the referees as well. Let the referees do their game. And there was one parent stood right on the very corner of a touchline, and all the other parents were congregating, and I just passed out the leaflets, and I looked up and I thought, this poor fella, he's on his own there, you know what I mean? So I don't want to really give him a leaflet out because he's not going to be any trouble at all. Anyway, I walked over to the chap and said, hi mate, I said, Mal from Don't Cross the Line campaign, as you do, and you're here to watch the game and what, and he goes, yeah, it's a decent game and all that, and I thought, I said, I'll just pass him a leaflet anyway. I said, well, what we do, we give these handouts and you can have a little look at that and a little read. It's all about the kids playing the game, the referees having a go at the game, and we'll leave them alone. So he said, okay, thanks very much, mate. And it was an under-14s game, I always remember that. And as I give him the leaflet, the handout, he stands there and he goes, hey everybody, I've just been given an ASBO. And I looked and I was shocked and I went, no wonder you're on your own. And anyway, all the parents come up to me a little bit later on and said, why do you think he stands on his own? He's not allowed to stand with us. So I picked on the right one tonight. Anyway, that was just part of the banter and part of the things that we do. You do see lovely banter out there. We're not saying everyone is really bad at, you know, when you go to watch the kids playing football. Some great supporters that we come across as well.
Yeah. Well, over the years we've done a lot of things, and one thing that always stands out for me is our little weekend trips away.
Yeah, there was.
We've been down to Brighton, we've been up to Newcastle, we've been to Wembley. We've really...
Newcastle, we've got a character up there, haven't we? Who is he?
Well, Paul, isn't
Paul
he?
Cochran.
Fantastic.
Paul is unbelievable. Paul is fantastic. He does the grassroots football UK, and we've been up, I think, 4 or 5 times. How many times has Paul come down here?
0, I think.
0, there you go, Paul. So the message is, when you come up to see us, no doubt we'll be going again.
Fantastic studio here for you to come see as well.
See, Paul, remember that one, and we'd love to get an interview off you, because he works hard as well, doesn't he, Paul?
He does, yeah. Together. Well, we've obviously linked in with him, with obviously the work he does up north in Newcastle. It's good to know that there's other hard work people out there doing the thing that we're doing, and we can bounce off each other, bounce ideas, and really come together and get it all flowing. Yeah,
well, Paul's gone up in the world now, hasn't he? Just joking, Paul, we know that, honestly, because we know what you'd be like if you were here with us anyway. Yeah. No, but fantastic guys to meet, and as I say, we can't wait to meet up with them again. We're always talking to them on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites. Paul's guarded all them, and I must admit he's doing a fine job. But as I say, Paul, you're welcome here anytime. Get in the car, drive down. Cup of tea. Who's making the tea? You make the tea or no? Shall I make the tea or?
Make Paul do it.
Paul, you can make it anyway, so well done. Thanks for volunteering. Never mind the strong stuff, we don't drink. No Newcastle Brown allowed here. Anyway, Paul, you were saying, we've been away weekends and meeting some great characters along the way.
Yeah, well, it's been a fantastic opportunity to get out there and to meet those people all up and down the country who are doing the same thing that we're doing. As I say, we've been down to Brighton, up to Newcastle. We've the whole stretch of England. We have visited everyone.
And plus the fact, Wembley Stadium, we can't leave that one out, can we?
No, it was a fantastic time, that was. Obviously went to see Liverpool.
Just a quick, we didn't win, though, did we?
No, we didn't.
But but next Saturday, I think we'll lift that. We can't go. No, we can't go this time. So
COVID and that, isn't it?
Charity Shield, Community Shield, and we can't go. There would have been thousands of us there, and we'd have been sitting there yet again,
cheering on,
watching us pick it up this time, because I really,
hopefully, we'll have good chance this time. I think.
Confident.
We've got Arsenal over this time. So.
This time, So come on,
give us a game.
I don't think we've won at Wembley, have we? Just yet we picked nothing up, have we?
No, I don't know where of.
First time for everything, and we know it's coming. So there you go. Anyway, less about Liverpool. Let's talk about Don't Cross the Line campaign and the work that we've been doing.
Well, another thing that sticks out to me over the years is the award ceremonies that we've done over the years. There's 2 that stick out with me.
This is the respect.
There's one we did in Everton's ground. It was in one of their function rooms, that was a very busy one. Now,
anyone who doesn't know, you have a character. Don't cross the line. Don't cross. Not saying who the character was, but unbelievable.
It was a memorable night, I'll tell you that.
How many times was your tail pulled? tail. The lion's tail. But it was fantastic.
The kids enjoyed it, definitely, with obviously getting the photo taken.
Well, we make a laugh about that, don't we? We probably shouldn't really say this on there, but do you remember when Henry was in charge, and he said to us, first of all, he come up and I said, can we hold the celebrations and the award ceremony at Goodison? And he went, yeah, and I said, how big's the hall? And he said, massive, park ends. He said, not a problem. He said, we'll fill, you won't fill that. We don't even fill that after the Everton game. Now, I'm not having to go with Everton fans here, no, not at all. These are the words that we got told. And I looked and I went, Henry, can you hold us? I said, because this is a grassroots campaign. I said, and we have a big following. He went, not a problem. He said, don't worry about it.
Very accommodating, wasn't he? Fantastic.
Oh, he was very accommodating, but what was it like at the end?
It was
how many more's coming here? This is too full. We filled the car park, there was coaches, there was minibuses. We had Daryl who comes out from Preston as well. It was amazing. Daryl will tell you exactly how it went, but this is the following that we have for the award ceremonies, don't we? It's
Oh,
just
it was
amazing.
massive, yeah. It was a fantastic evening as well. All the kids enjoyed. They all got their medals. They all got their signed little card from Don't Cross as well.
Oh yeah.
Which is
It was unbelievable. And as I say, these stand out. But
yeah.
these are the things that we've done and we're carrying on to do over the years. Because you know what you say to me yourself, Paul. What's on this year? Because I know you'll come up with something else. What is it? And there's loads of plans. And Paul's seen the plans. He won't tell you anything. But Paul, the plans that are future plans for Don't Cross the Line, extraordinary.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, obviously, things all go right, all line up. Then it could really explode in the next 12, 18 months. Where you've always got an idea. There's always something ticking over in your head. Where Paul, I've thought of this. Paul, I've thought of that. Yeah, great idea. Then. Let's get it going. Let's get it started.
But you never put me down because they tend to work. They tend to work. And
well, I always like to not be sort of like the negative person, but I like to go. Have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? And just make you think of those little things that maybe you're not thought of, or maybe think, do you know what? Yeah, but let's do it slightly different because of that. I think that's been brought up. But yeah, there's always ideas coming out. So.
And there's loads more, isn't there, Paul? We might have a good announcement next week, might we?
Hopefully,
fingers crossed. So
yeah.
We're not going to tell you what it is, but
no.
tell you what, just watch this space. We were on about
award ceremonies, yes. So obviously with Everton not being able to hold the amount of people that we get, we ended up moving to a cricket club nearby, didn't we?
Oh,
and that was another evening that stood out for me.
Well, we had to cut it down, didn't we? And
we did,
and
yeah.
Worked it through. That was,
yeah.
And and then we had the COVID and we had all these plans. We were going to hold a lot more, but unfortunately we were stopped in our tracks like everything else.
Yeah, well, obviously this year everything's been put on hold, hasn't it, with COVID. So a lot of the award ceremonies that we would have done, and all the activities and plans that we did have lined up have sort of been curtailed and put on until next year, really, haven't we? Because we had a trip down south, didn't we? We had a trip down. Got cancelled, so.
What could we do?
Maybe
another trip to Wembley. Nathan, we're still waiting. You did say, come on, we need to get onto that one. But we won't tell them too much about that.
Our Premier Inn's still booked.
Premier Inn's still booked. We always do it. And it's once a year, I suppose. Something crops up. And we look forward to it. We like to get out and about. And we visited Lostock. We've talked about their tournaments as well. Over the years, and Darryl and all the crew there, the committee there. They put on a fantastic tournament.
Talking about Darryl.
No!
I always remember when I went down.
I'll just read, do you know, folks, when it's a penalty shootout, and all the kids come on there and we all get big, we put our boots on, we think, slot it, top right corner, left corner, goalie's got no chance, open goal. Paul decided he was going to have a go on that one.
It was one of those speed tests. It was like, I can kick it hard. Well, I went one kick, and I think I broke my foot.
Who come over and mended you?
Darryl.
Darryl, fantastic first aid fella, and he couldn't stop laughing.
No.
We couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't believe. I thought Paul was winding us up. No. One kick.
I couldn't drive home. I had to get you to drive home in the end.
I had to drive home. To be honest, I was giggling on the way. I must admit.
Well, I ended up kicking the floor. That's what happened, and I bent my foot right back on itself, and it was painful.
He sold as he kicked the floor. It was the ball.
The ball hardly moved.
But the kids are all like that going.
What a wimp.
One kick. And we could. It was brilliant. That does stand out. But again, you were backed in the following year.
Well, yeah, we were.
It's great because Darryl is probably a Sailor Award winner off us for the amount of work and what he put into it in the committee. And it was free bacon butties for us, wasn't it?
It was lovely. I love those
Good
bacon
by
butties.
Darryl, I tell you what a first aider as well, mate. But we did
fantastic work up there,
yeah, credit where it's due.
Definitely.
First aider. If you want the first aider, Darryl's the man. And what else? We were back on all kinds, weren't we? We've got loads, as I say, and we could talk about. But we'll have more shows in the meantime. It's going to be a little extended show because we wanted to spend a couple of minutes on what you're seeing here as well.
Yeah.
Which is the sake of, I've introduced that to you. We've done it with Gordon from the County FA on Friday. I carried on last night's show, now we're into Sunday. And you want to say something about it as well. You've looked at it, haven't you?
Well, yeah, obviously with being a father of 4 young kids, ranging from the age of 12 down to 2, big age gap.
How many?
4, yeah. It's obviously a very...
Did this happen when you broke your foot? Don't go on. Carry on.
It's obviously it's one of those strange subjects which it's never really spoken about, but it's obviously quite a serious one. You know, child exploitation. It's something that no one likes to think ever happens, but
No,
it does. And there's a little card that you get. Obviously, Mel's holding one up there as well. Safe to play. If you got the app, Zapper.
Yeah, free app.
It's a free app. I just done it before, about 5 minutes ago, before it started.
You were intrigued on it?
Yeah, it gives you a little advert, and you can click in and see other things. And if there's any issues that you know of, you can actually report them via the app. But yeah, if you know of any, or you know, there's a few posters, if you see the signs or things to look out for.
Well, as you said to me,
yeah,
you know, going through Gordon, I won a safeguarding award from the NSPCC,
yeah.
and it was absolutely fantastic because I always look for ideas, because we come up with our ID cards for coaches, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
We still have the ID cards for coaches who wear them, Gordon Green, the whole club,
Yeah.
they bought them because it's nice, it's get the trust for the parents, they explain, they've had the DBS, you know, they've got welfare officers. This is probably the best thing that I've seen.
It's very good, yeah. It's as I say, the app's free. You download it and it plays a little video when you scan it over the top of the card. And you know, children are, you know, they're so young and they need vulnerable. That's the word, isn't it?
And with lockdown now,
Well, with lockdown, yeah.
you know,
There's sort of no outlet for them because you're sort of locked in the house. You know, maybe it's a good thing that they're away from maybe the abusive people, but maybe they're locked with the abusive people, and that's the last thing you
worrying
want.
thing, yeah.
It's sometimes hard to think of well, parents abuse kids. Well, yeah, it happens.
Well, the great message is it's the coaches, isn't it? It's to be more aware, and the mums and dads. You know, if you think, if you're looking at a child and they're withdrawn and they're drawn within themselves and they suddenly become bubbly from the quiet, and you know there's something wrong. So it's to make the coaches more aware as well.
Yeah.
We're not saying this happens to, you know, with every coach, we do know, but at least it gives more trust to the mum and dad's, grandparents and what have you, when the coaches are active coaching their children.
Yeah. Well, we need more people aware of it, so if the coaches are aware of it, they can let the parents know about it, and if we just spread that word, and if we're all looking for it, we can maybe spot it a bit faster to help those kids that are being abused.
So there you go, Zapper app. It's free, download it, you know, it's highly recommended, and as I said, we're going to be passing this on right the way through all our shows, and you'll see me out and about, and the Touchlines was today, passing them out to the mums, the dads, the parents, and you know, it's easy. Just have a look. When you've watched it, tell your friends, and if you want any coaches, managers, simply get in touch with Liverpool County FA, or you can get in touch with myself, and I will pick them up off me if you see them, mal@don'ttextheline.com, add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites. Paul, it's been fantastic having you on the show again, reminiscing. We've got loads more to talk about.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem at all, and we'll be back again, well, over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, updates, and see how this has come along as well,
Yeah.
because it looks intriguing and very interesting indeed. Thank you very much for joining us for the shows this weekend. Really enjoyed your company. Special guest and thanks to Paul, our ambassador, volunteer ambassador for Don't Cross the Line. Many more ambassadors are coming on board. Many more guests are coming. We've had emails. They're going to be exciting times here at Don't Cross the Line with our podcast show and DXTLTV from the Touchlines. In the meantime, put your feet up, folks. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We'll be back again next Friday at 7 p.m. Maybe one or two guests next week, but we'll let you know first hand. You'll be first to know. In the meantime, thank you very much from Ali from Don't Cross the Line, Paul Cochran from Don't Cross the Line, and the Grassroots Weekender Show. In the meantime, put your feet up, relax, and have a good evening. We'll see you next Friday, 7 p.m. Good night, God bless.